Can you share more about your experience in terms of how did you apply to CureFit and what the process was?
So I started applying in April, mid of April, around 13th or 14th of April. And I emailed the companies. I emailed around 30 companies. And the email IDs I got from my seniors who had already applied for companies. So usually every college has a set of seniors who are into a certain field and they have their own repository and they give it to you. So I emailed all of these companies. I don't even know which companies these were. But yeah, I did not email too many of the biggies because I knew I was a starter. I was not even expecting an internship. But okay. So I started emailing and I emailed CureFit as well. The next day I got a call from CureFit which said that they had fixed me up for an interview. And I got interviewed the next day. And at the end of that interview, it was a 40-minute interview. And at the end of that interview, I was in. So it was a very roller coaster like process. I did
That's
not even
great.
realize it had happened.
Can you share what
Yeah.
kind of questions were asked during the interview and how the interview process was?
So there were three main questions. The first question, which seems very generic, but I think it's extremely important. He asked me, my interviewer, he asked me that, tell me about yourself and why do you want to come into CureFit? Now, usually, back then I didn't know it, but when I revisited that whole thing and when I, gave it a thought, I realized that it is extremely important to know why you're doing something. And because maybe for us, it is important to land an internship, but for the company that you're going to, it is very important that you fit into their culture. It is extremely important for them to be able to work with you, that they know you will be able to fit into their culture and they know why you are doing what you're doing. They just don't want another person who just wants an internship for their CV.
Right.
So when I answered that, I told them about my whole journey, I read this book and I had this revelation and everything. And I told them that I wanted to be a part of their company because I think they were doing a good job. And I am into fitness myself. It's a very important part of life for me. And their target audience is somebody who's just like me, right? Living in a city on their own and needs, subscription to daily meals and exercises and all of that. So yeah, I told them and that was honestly my reason. Somebody else's reason might be something else, right? And I think it is important to tell them what you really feel. So that was my first question. The second question, he asked me to pick a daily object and to design it to be used better, like to design it to become better. So my object was an umbrella and I designed it to become a better umbrella. And number three was to design a soda vending machine for a blind person.
I would like to know your answer to that question.
Which one?
The soda vending machine.
Oh, so the funny part is through all of these three questions, I was being corrected at every single step. You're wrong here. You're wrong here. You're wrong here. You're wrong here. So by the end of it, I did not really have a solution. But what happened during that question was, I asked him a lot of other questions. Okay. So he told me, you need to design a soda vending machine for a blind person. I asked him, does the person need to navigate through that whole space? Is it in a closed space or an open space? Is the person already standing in front of the soda machine, or he also has to walk towards the soda machine, right? And we also are assuming that the person cannot read braille. When I researched later, interestingly, I got to know that less than 10% people can read braille. Braille illiteracy is very common. Now there are a lot of problems, during the whole navigation process. There are people, there are objects, the floor may be slippery, and I mean, things can go very wrong if not done properly, right? A very important thing to note here is that most of this question and most of my interview involved a lot of problem identification, which is important because as I realized through my process and as a lot of people who are in my position right now with one or two internships and have done a little work will be able to conquer with. Identifying the problem is the major problem. Solutions can be arrived at, but it is really important to be able to identify a problem. So throughout, I think that question, I was identifying a lot of problems. After a point of time, he told me, "Okay, assume he's within 1 meter radius of that machine. How will he orient himself towards that machine?" So these solutions started from the soda machine making various soda machine-like sounds, like bubbles, to the soda machine calling that person, to the soda machine having a camera and identifying the person. And the problems kept cropping up that the soda machine cannot, that there are other stakeholders there. It cannot, irritate the other people around him, around the soda machine. Sorry, that okay, I'm constantly beeping, and there is this random dude who can see,
Yeah.
and he's going, and he gets annoyed because why the hell am I constantly beeping? Or else, whenever a person crosses me, I say hi because I want to tell them that I'm here. But that person can see. He does not want to listen to that hi. He gets completely scared and he drops his popcorn. We don't want that, right? So all of that happened, and the whole process involved a lot of problem reading. And eventually, there was a metal ring kind of a thing that projected itself from the soda machine. And once the person was in front of that soda machine, he could start, like touching that ring. And it is a very lame solution. It does not
No, it's
work, but
fine.
it was there.
It's more about the
Yes,
process of how you arrived. Yeah.
exactly what I realized. It,
Yeah.
it does not matter if it works, but the process is really important. You need to be able to question everything, and you need to be able to have your whys very clear. You need to know why you're doing something. So yeah, the person basically touches the ring and he orients himself towards the machine, and then one of these so the most unexpected problem cropped up when Sir asked me ki, how is he going to communicate with the machine. So I said there can be buttons. He said, why should there be buttons? Why should there be multiple buttons? I said, true. Then I said there will be one button. I said, okay. Then that one button, the machine can tell him that you press it once if you want Fanta, press it twice if you want Sprite, press it thrice if you want, something else. And maybe he can press it. And I forgot to tell him that the machine needs to confirm to him. You've pressed it
Right.
once. This is going to be Fanta. And if you want to cancel, you have a 2-second, 3-second window, press it again, kind of a thing. And this seems like a pretty obvious thing, but it's mind-boggling how much detail you have to go into in order to design an experience. Right. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah, there were a couple of other problems, but yeah, pretty much it.